just see cars and cars of LAPD and DPS. I would estimate 50 plus LAPD officers in semi-riot gear.
Scenes like this at USC continue to play out on campuses nationwide, schools preparing for graduation. USC's president called pro-Palestinian encampments illegal occupations and asked police to clear out the protesters and their tents. USC, as a result, now changing its commencement plans. The university has canceled its main commencement ceremony in favor of smaller ceremonies for specific majors. Security will still be tight. Metal detectors will be there, bag searches, checkpoints. It will feel like TSA. Tensions at USC have been particularly high since the school canceled the valedictorian speech about 3 weeks ago. She was accused of anti-Semitism. Joining me now, a student at USC, Mark Rayant, is a grad student, a Jewish grad student at USC, about to graduate with a master's in green technology. Congratulations to you. You've worked hard for this moment. It's not going to look like you planned, though, will it?
Unfortunately not. No, we're all very disappointed and feeling this in a very, very tangible way right now.
What do you make of the school's decision to do this? Do you think that it was right?
I think it represents sort of a cascade of a failure of leadership culminating to this moment. I mean, it started out with the selection of the valedictorian to begin with. When they had an oversight there, they easily could have selected someone who was very neutral, but instead they chose somebody who espoused these really hateful anti-Israel and frankly anti-Semitic views. And then instead of apologizing both to her and the student body, they doubled down and canceled her and then essentially deflected the blame on the Jewish community, which felt to us like a scapegoating. And we've seen a lot of anti-Semitism on campus as a result of that, and very frightening situations, open acts of vandalism, harassment. We've gotten some Nazi salutes. Students have been spat at and harassed. It's been quite frightening, honestly. So this is just another step in that process for us, and it's been hard for us to see and hard for us to square away.
And hard to experience as a Jewish student on campus. What have been your personal encounters?
So I was actually on campus somewhat recently taking grad photos and was followed and stalked and harassed by some people from within the encampment. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I've been called pretty hateful names. I've been told that I don't belong on campus, times where I was visibly Jewish, like wearing a yarmulke or having a star. It's been an uncomfortable feeling. And something to really mention is that, there are some peaceful protesters here, but a lot of them are actually violent professional agitators. And they're really there to take advantage of our freedoms and take advantage of our school policies to try to create a hostile environment of intimidation. And it's been a really uncomfortable, tense situation on campus because of that.
It's one thing to hear a university or the president say, we will not tolerate hate, we will not tolerate anti-Semitism. But what does that look like to you? We can't go back to the last few weeks, but moving forward, what would you like to see to combat hate?
We've been grateful to see them finally enforce their university policies and remove the encampment that's been there for a while. But I'm hoping that going forward, they start to actually do something about the administrators and the professors who are pushing forward these really hateful ideas and putting them into the heads of the students. I hope they take more steps to safeguard the Jewish community and frankly, all communities that are facing discrimination now. And I think we really need to do something to address this curriculum as well, because it's this anti-Israel hatred and the resulting anti-Semitism is starting to be baked into the curricula of a lot of universities right now. And it's a national epidemic, I think, because we're going to see stuff like this start to happen more and more frequently if we don't start to address it.
Yeah, some believe misinformed. Also problematic, though, that you hear hate, but those who are saying the things to you and to others don't believe it's hateful. They believe they're standing up for the Palestinians.
Yeah, there is a line here in a democracy where I think people do have the right to stand up and have their freedom of speech, but that line has been crossed very obviously and very blatantly on our campuses. I mean, we've heard hateful rhetoric. One of my friends, for example, was walking around with a yarmulke and was told that he should die so they could piss on his grave. And when you have something like that, or the swastika that I found spray painted on our campus, the defacing of our most precious monuments, the breaking into buildings, holding our property on campus hostage for their occupation. people that are actively creating an environment of hostility, an environment of lawlessness on our campuses. That cannot be tolerated. That is not peaceful protest. That's deeply hurtful to a lot of students that are walking around. It undermines our democracy, and it's unfair. And I don't think it should be allowed to continue.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.